Put on up. Go. I'm going to say a prayer. So, placing my hands on my heart, taking that deep cleansing breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this opportunity to be the two or more gathered in the name and the nature of love. Grateful for our willingness to come together and learn to live the teachings of Jesus through A Course in Miracles, learn to increase our willingness, learn to let go of anything that is blocking love coming to us or going from us. We're grateful for every learning that we receive, grateful for this community and our mighty companions, our earthly and heavenly helpers that support us through this life journey. We ask that they join us now, surrounding and supporting us, supporting our technology, blessing each and every one of us, all who are here, all who may listen later. And we're grateful to share the blessings that we are, the blessings we receive, the love that we are with everyone because we're one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen. Mm-hmm. Hey, Carol. Good to see you, sweetie. All right. So we are in Song of Prayer, chapter 2, section 3, Forgiveness for Salvation. And I'm going to start us with the first paragraph and maybe a couple sentences from the second. Forgiveness for salvation has one form and only one. It does not ask for proof of innocence, nor pay of any kind. It does not argue nor evaluate the errors that it wants to overlook. It does not offer gifts in treachery, nor promise freedom while it asks for death. Would God deceive you? He but asks for trust and willingness to learn how to be free. He gives his teacher to whoever asks and seeks to understand the will of God. His readiness to give lies far beyond your understanding and your simple grasp. Yet he has willed you learn the way to him, and in his willing, there is certainty. You, child of God, the gifts of God are yours, not by your plans, but by his holy will. His voice will teach you what forgiveness is and how to give it as he wills it be. Do not then seek to understand what is beyond you yet, but let it be a way to draw you up to where the eyes of Christ become the sight you choose. And I got to witness this weekend. So I'm still learning this for myself in my own mind and thoughts and judgments. But I was with a bunch of friends for the last 5 or 6 days at the drumming retreat that we do, and at this beautiful organic farm. And two of the people that were there were involved in, you may remember me mentioning this, the time that I was exposed by one of those friends to COVID. Like, she was standing over me for 10 or 15 minutes while I was fiddling with a door at the church that we normally have our biweekly drum circle. And my other friend, who also goes to our drum circle and also comes to this event that we go to yearly, was also there and was exposed, but not as directly and for as long as I was. And so my friend that had COVID had no idea that she had COVID. She was completely oblivious to it. And she only tested herself because I asked her to when she got home, and she did test positive. And I wore a mask in my house for 5 days so that I wouldn't expose Rudy if I got it. But I forgave her because she didn't know. She didn't know. She had no malintent. But my other friend was so furious, and more furious, like on my behalf, that she called her up and like reamed her a new butthole, and was telling her how irresponsible she was, and just all these. So she was just letting her ego fly and have a field day. And so the two of them have been very awkward in our friendships for, gosh, that was almost a year ago that happened. And this weekend when we got together, they had a conversation and they forgave each other for both of those things. And I was able to witness them come to that place where they realized that really they both were innocent. They were both acting out of their fear. And but the really interesting thing is they both got physically sick after the forgiveness. And I felt like that anger that they had been holding on to for almost a year just got expelled from their bodies. One of them was vomiting. The other one got real dizzy, and she actually fell and couldn't attend the majority of our events and went home early. And so, I was really able to see how it is that my forgiveness is my salvation, because all of the stuff that I hold onto against myself or anybody else is just going to create problems for myself, problems within myself. So anyway, might be a bit of a long story. I apologize, but it was fascinating to watch. So that's where I'm starting us with. Carla.
Oh, I hope the fan's not too loud because it's 81 here. So there's so much in reading to talk about there. I wanted to read, I was prompted to read this poem, and then I want to tell you a little bit about how I got here, that I couldn't find it. And the mind kept trying to tell me, oh, you're not supposed to read it because you're just trying to get attention, and it's full of judgment. And that's really gave me a big opportunity to see what I chose. And to just, and I, at one moment, I almost gave up, and I did it. And so I think it really fits help, because this says, was it prayer for salvation? But anyhow, I'll just read it. It's called Heaven or Hell. What is heaven? What is hell? Well, they're both states of mind. In this world, they are beliefs, concepts. They are each moment what we're holding in our mind as true, our beliefs. They are both are not places we go. They are where we are each moment in the moment. And we can tell what we have chosen by how we feel. We can give them names. We have given them names. Heaven is peace, calm, freedom, acceptance, forgiveness, trust, faith, no attachment to this world and what the goings on, or its things. Hell, if you you experience it every day, possibly. Any upset, anger, resentment, even sadness, believing that something should be different than what is. The body is a perfect communication device to ourselves. It tells us where we have chosen to go by how we feel. Heaven or hell.
Mhm. Thank you, Carla. Yep, I'd like to choose heaven. Here on earth. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Go ahead, Carol.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. There's so much going on in terms of taking care of business after a person passes, and it doesn't stop. It goes on and on for as long as it needs to. And so I have found myself on phones with insurance companies and trying to get insurance for myself. It all ended when my husband passed. It just, you think you're making a phone call, and it turns out to be you're on the phone for more than an hour or two trying to just do a simple task. And so that's been my life these last few weeks. But yesterday, I just wanted, this is such a perfect section for me in my life. Now, I don't know if you all remember, if I shared deeply with you, my elder child, my son, Mezzi, he will not be called by his name that I gave him any longer. And so his name is Mezzi. And we've all responded very differently to my husband's passing. He, being the oldest, is very highly sensitive. And that for a long time, I did not understand that. Made life with him difficult because I was ignorant of a lot of that. Where my daughter, with her first child, understands it because I think it's in the DNA with the firstborn males in our family. And anyway, we've been at cross purposes most of his life. He's very artistic. He's a very much an individual. He's very, very creative, but it goes very often against the norm or the mainstream of life. And so that's been a challenge for me and for my husband. Anyhow, he has wanted to discuss in detail a lot of his childhood and his upbringing. And I've not been okay for that for the last couple of months because we've been dealing with my husband and all that's gone on, his illness, then his passing. And I put him off and I said, I'm not ready, but if you will give me some time and space, I will let you know. And yesterday, I found myself alone in the house. My daughter and my younger son do not leave me alone for very long. One of them is here, not just for me, because it's at the shore. My daughter enjoys going to the beach, so does my younger son. So it just happened to have a day to myself yesterday. So I felt led to call Mezzy, and I have to get used to saying that. That's why I'm saying it over and over. And so we spent more than 4 hours on the phone, but it was very healing. It was very much forgiveness for each of us. It was facing things neither one of us really had wanted to, but we did. And I think we took down a lot of barriers in the process and have now actually, since I have to tell you this, my husband's passing has freed our family up in ways that would not have been possible had he survived his illness. He was very stuck. He was stuck because he had so much fear and so many blockages in his thinking and from his upbringing that he could not face. We used to want to have him go with us to therapy. Never, he just could not. He would do this. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. And so it festered and it sat with him, and it ultimately contributed to his leaving. And we realized he was stuck. Had he healed, okay, from his illness, we would have gone back to life the way it was. Lots of fear from him, many reluctances and inabilities to discuss and talk and heal and get past things. And so actually, for all of us, his passing freed everybody, especially him. My daughter did contact a medium. I don't know how you all feel about that, but this woman is so legit. It's unbelievable. She's gotten to totally love my husband because she's gotten to know him. And he cannot believe that he's still alive. All the years of sitting in a pew, listening to preachers talk about eternal life, blah, 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 blah. Because it was up here, but I don't think he truly believed it until now. And so his joy and his freedom and his sense of limitlessness of his life is just, it's amazing and it's lovely and it's beautiful. And that's where he is. So how can I be really upset about it? I can't. Yes, I miss him. I miss him very much, because as much as we had our very, very big, deep differences, I loved him very much and I miss him very much. But he shows us in so many different ways that he's with us. And so my son and I yesterday were able to talk about the fact that there was no choice. Had my husband recovered, which is what we thought we wanted, our life would go back to the difficulty and the conflict and the resistance and the contention that was very present because he was so blocked. So now we are realizing the very best path was the path he took out of here. The medium told us, and this is hard to understand, that he outgrew his body. In other words, his expansion, his understanding, his evolution got so big, it could not be contained in his physical body anymore. He'd gone beyond that. And so our discussion yesterday for all those hours was so healing and so good, because we could agree that the very best thing for everyone was for Dad to go beyond the limits of this physical life. And so, and there have been so many ways that he shows up in our life. It's constant, but we have to be open to it. Yesterday, now my husband played Bob Dylan. That's all he did on the guitar. He never really cared about anybody else's music. So the day I came back from a friend's house, it must have been Saturday or Sunday, I went to get bagels on my way home because I was up where I used to live in this bagel place. Great place. They don't have bagels down here like that. So I stopped, I got bagels. I get in the car to continue the journey, and Like a Rolling Stone is playing on the radio. Hello, was one of his favorite songs to play. Then I stopped at a friend's house. We had breakfast here down in Toms River, which is near where I live. And I left her, said goodbye around 4 o'clock, got in the car. Chimes of Freedom is playing. Now that's a song that Bill Clinton had Dylan sing at his inaugural. Okay, Chimes, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. That's playing on the radio when I get in my car the second time that day. Well, hello, once is, you could say, all right, okay, they like Dylan on this. It's the University of Pennsylvania station, so it's a college-like station, you know, PBS. Anyhow, to play Dylan 2 times in a matter of just a few hours was really rare. And then my daughter, she's at the beach with the kids a couple of days ago, and they decided to walk on the shore, right along the water. A manta ray, which they had never seen a manta ray, one of those flat rays, you know, that kind of do that in the water, stayed with them in the shallows the entire time they walked. 10-15 minutes of a walk. This ray stayed with them along the shallow part of the water as they're walking on the shore. Now, if you're not open, you're not going to realize. But once you realize, the truth is, we don't go anywhere. We don't go that far. I heard Deepak say it one day. We don't, you know, like if I live in New Jersey and my life has been in New Jersey or Pennsylvania and New Jersey, I'm not going to pass and go to China. There's just no way. Okay. You stay where your loved ones are, where your life was. And that's where my husband has been. And so he's not gone by any means. He's not gone. And so I just wanted to share that with you because it's more beautiful than I could ever, ever, ever imagine a passing could be. I mean, I can't regret anything. And I can't deeply mourn. Yes, I miss him, and there's days I cry. Of course I do, because yeah, I spent almost 60 years with him. But truly, truly, I am happy for him. I know he's experiencing the joy that I used to pray all the time he felt and didn't really think in the physical life he had. He truly didn't. He had such difficulty in his early life. He had so much pain. And so now I am so blessed to see and know that he's fine. He is so fine that it only gets better. God has nothing for us but good. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Yes, I know we experience a lot of crap in this life, I'm sure. All of us. But hindsight is 20/20, and I remember that, and it's the truth. I wouldn't change a minute of my life. I wouldn't change a relationship, a difficulty, a challenge. So, and I don't mean to take lots of time, but boy, I learning so much from this experience with my husband passing out of this life. It's nothing but miraculous, truly, and wonderful. So I love you guys, and I want to share this with you because there's really very few other people I can deeply share, truly deeply share this way. And so thank you. Thanks for the time. I love you.
Carol, we love you so much. Thank you so much for blessing us with all of those beautiful,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all right.
miraculous.
It is. It just gets better and better. It does.
It's so beautiful. I'm so happy for Charles. I can't tell you, like, my
Oh,
heart is
yes. Oh,
singing
yes.
for him.
Yep.
Probably a Bob Dylan song, but yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so amazing. I was thinking how perfect it is that you made him move back to the shore house, so you are closer to your kids right now during all of this. I just like the timing is perfection.
Boy, doesn't God know what he's doing? Honest to God, it's just, thank God, because half the time just one quick little thing. You know how when Jennifer does her classes, she's got those gorgeous orchids in the background, those purple, oh my God. And I used to think, I have such a black or purple thumb. My thumbs are not green. They never really I can grow green things, but I can't grow flowers, right? So we have a memorial for Charlie back on July 8th. And Danny has these friends that just adore him. He's helped them with selling houses and things like that. And they're Bulgarian. They're a precious Bulgarian couple, Jenny and Zlatan. So they show up with huge things of flowers for the memorial. I mean, like for a funeral home type, big sprays, 3 or 4 big sprays of flowers. And I should show you, it's in my phone if I could show you, those huge white orchids, like what Jennifer has in purple. And all that came to my mind was, God knew in my heart, I love those orchids, but I'm afraid to grow them because I'm not good, right? So he doesn't just give me those little purple ones. These things are huge, big, white. If I can find it on my phone and show it to you, I will. I took pictures of them, and it's like God said, I know you like them, but I'm going to give you the biggest, most gorgeous, way beyond what you think you want, sweetheart. And there's like, they tied them together. It's like on these branches things, and she hooked them all together. They're like, each flower is like that. They're huge. If I can find the picture, I'll show it to you sometime before the class ends. But because I took pictures of everything. But oh my God, that's all I could think of was that scripture. It's way beyond what you think or imagine. Gifts and blessings are, God gives you more. Just I was speechless. All I did for days was just, I brought them home and they're in the living room, and all I do is stare at them. I hope I can keep them going, but even if I can't for real long, I'm just enjoying them when I have them. But you know what I mean? It's just blessings upon blessings upon blessings. I never said a word to anybody about them because I just yearned for them. I just like wanted them. But
Yeah, God knows what's in our hearts for sure. So beautiful. Anybody else like to share today? Go ahead, Leslie.
Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss, but with your beautiful sharing, I really can't. I mean, I had no idea that your husband was even sick. The last I had heard was you guys were reading A Course in Miracles together. So I know that you hadn't been in class for several weeks, but life happens. I didn't think anything of it. So I'm a little shocked, but what a beautiful, getting a little choked up, expression of losing somebody in this world. Because I know whenever, not anybody close to me, but when somebody dies that I maybe know, like the family, it's like I'm always so happy for the person that died. And I know I've shared this before. I'm always sad for the family member. And yet you're filled with such grace right now that it's just so beautiful.
It is.
So
It- it
beautiful.
just- It is. Everything about God. The more I grow, the more I learn, the more I can understand and take in. God's ways are just, oh my God, kingdom first,
Yes.
because it just doesn't get any better than that. When we just wake up in the morning and say good morning to Mother, Father, God, or however we do it, doesn't have to go way beyond that, I don't think.
Right.
You just acknowledge that in our life, that's our priority. That's what we desire above all else, even if we screw up in the next 30 seconds. God
Right.
knows our heart is with him. And that kingdom desire is all really the willingness I think God desires for us, is to acknowledge that priority. And after that, blessings just flow. They just flow. We don't have to make big speeches and say a whole lot of prayers. It's your heart, it's just knowing that's where my heart is. That's what I want. That's who I desire to be, period. That's all there is to it. And after that, it's just whatever growth and understanding, learning we can take in. It's all good. It's all
And
good.
I really appreciate that you say that, and you still miss him. It's okay. And
Oh,
miss
yes.
him.
Oh, yes.
Okay?
I talk to him all day, though.
Right.
And my
Yeah.
daughter does too. And the thing is, my kids feel closer to him now because he's free. He was not free. He grew up in so much fear and guilt and shame. And Rosalind calls it imagined unworthiness, where we feel less than all the time. But it's imagined. It isn't real, but we don't know that. If we, you know what I mean? He didn't know that. Just like he was in shock after the medium kept saying, your dad, to my daughter, your dad is just in shock. He's still, I can't believe I'm alive. I can't believe he's just so happy that he's just not in this,
I just wish, that pain and guilt that we all feel because we think we separated from God, and yet we didn't. I wish the way that your husband feels right now, I so wish we could bottle it up and sell it to people, because people that aren't in this spiritual
no, it's hard. Life is hard.
It's really difficult.
Yeah,
really difficult. Yeah. I wish people that are in so much pain and they turn to addictions and whatnot, that we could just tell them these things.
Yes. You do. You want to just grab them, and say, listen to me. It isn't like that.
Right.
It's not what you think. And it's just, but yeah. But then that keeps that yearning in you to do that, to want to share, to want to help, to want to, let other people know. However, and it creates that hunger even more. And I believe God wants that in our hearts.
That just, I'm just dealing with something with my nephew right now. And it's just, I've been reminded of a teeny bit, Hamera, and not comparing it all to your situation with your brother, but my nephew, he's definitely an alcoholic, and he just went on a terrible binge, wound up 4 days in the hospital, had seizures. And, for all intents and purposes, we all thought, he's the one that has a 4-year-old and the 1.5-year-old. And we all just in our happy little world of thinking that he's sober and doing fine. And at that last birthday party, my spidey sense was up, and I'm just like, I should ask him how his sobriety is going. And I didn't. But the point is, I don't even know what my point is. I just wanted to bring it up, I guess, for prayer. But it's like, I think he turns to alcohol because of the internal pain and that voice in his head that's telling him he's not good enough and he's not lovable. And like I said in my text to him, I love you so much. I know you can do this, but it doesn't matter what I know and what I can believe. You have to know it yourself. You have to believe it in yourself. And I'm here for you, but I can't do it for you. I can't do it for you. And for the most part, for this past week, because it happened just a week ago, I've done really good not losing my peace and not letting it ruin my day. And as far as staying in my own business and forgiving him for what he didn't do. I've really been trying to apply A Course in Miracles without doing the spiritual bypass. And it's hard. It's not hard. This stuff is easy when life is going wonderful and I'm with my plants and my flowers. And I have just a little sidebar, Carol. I had an orchid I got for my 50th birthday. I'm going to be 54 in September. Bloomed for the first time this year. Got 2 pink flowers from it.
Wow.
I don't know why.
I hope I can say the same. But I learned from my son, my 4.5-hour conversation with my first kid. He started the conversation saying he thinks he made a mistake when he chose our family to come to. All right. And at the end of the conversation, he said, honestly, Mom, I don't think I would change one single thing about my life. And I was so blessed because I was admitting all the things that I knew I had neglected to do as a mother, all the things I could have done but was ignorant about in raising him. He got a rough deal, but he was not easy, and he knew that. He knew that he wasn't an easy kid. That I know, Mom, it was hard for you, and I'm sorry. But what I really just grasped, and it's simple, is he's got long black hair and he's got a green beard, and if you look up Mezzy Shredder on YouTube or the internet, you'll see him. He's a very gifted guitar player. He's very, very, very gifted and very creative, but I think he's better than Eric Clapton, honestly. So do my own family believe that. He's very gifted. He just never went up on stage in front of millions of people. But the lesson for me is know his choices just constantly butted up against me and my husband and our way of wanting to raise him, okay? Was pretty constant from when he was like 8 or 9 years old from then on. And all I honestly learned is stop judging his choices and just accept who he is. Just love him with all the stuff that you think he's doing wrong or bad or not well or it could have done differently, and just love him. Just love the choices he makes because they're his. And your nephew, the same thing. It doesn't change the beauty and perfection that he is. It's just outward stuff. It doesn't change the essence of his heart and his being and his soul and his spirit. Doesn't change that. So I think we get lost in the outside stuff. At least I did. And I have to continuously remind myself, this is a perfect being. This is a perfect creation of God, just like any beautiful sculpture or masterpiece, this is the same thing. We may not like the outer look, but that doesn't matter. God doesn't even look at that stuff, doesn't even see that part.
And this is where faith comes in too, because I just, it's like, do I have faith or do I not have faith? And when the fear creeps in about that 4-year-old and your 1.5-year-old, I have to remember they chose Luke and Sam as their parents.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know what lessons they are here to learn. I don't know. And really, it's none of my business. It's
No,
none of my
right.
business
Right.
if Luke is an active alcoholic or if he is able to get into recovery. I don't know. I've offered my support. That's all I can do. I'm just ho'oponoponoing like crazy and
And love and
love-
accept him. Love and
love and
accept him exactly
Yeah.
where he is.
yeah.
Just let him know you're with him. You may not like what he's doing. And if you want to say that to him here and there, that's fine if you feel led. But the essence of him, the truth of him is what you adore and love and will constantly have that always, unconditionally. If we can let them know that, that's all that really counts, because they're not any different than we are. They're not.
I just wanted to bring back to what we were reading. Did you read paragraph 4, Linda? I was just a little late coming in. I didn't think you did. I just want to read
Nope,
paragraph 4.
I did one, but that was the next thing I was gonna go to, so
Okay.
go for it, girl.
Okay. And I'm saying this with Luke in my heart here. As prayer is always for yourself, so is forgiveness always given you. It is impossible to forgive another, for it is only your sins you see in him. You want to see him there and not in you. That is why forgiveness of another is an illusion. Yet it is the only happy dream in all the world, the only one that does not lead to death. Only in someone else can you forgive yourself, for you have called him guilty for your sins, and in him must your innocence now be found. Who but the sinful need to be forgiven? You do not ever think you can see sin in yourself. Excuse me. And do not ever think you can see sin in anyone except for yourself. So basically, that's true forgiveness, meaning I don't need to forgive Luke. I mean, because I don't want to do a spiritual bypass here, but because what has happened is not really happened. It's his dream. It is his dream. This is what he has chosen. This is his perception. But when I see the so-called sin in him, I'm really seeing the sin in myself, meaning I'm seeing in myself that I think I'm separated from God. And that is not true. Is that what that paragraph means? Am I sort of on the right track there?
I think so, but I'm not exactly sure where you are reading.
Oh. Oh, goodness.
Because
Yeah.
we read forgiveness for salvation.
I was in forgiveness to yourself. I'm so sorry. Yes,
That's
I don't know.
okay.
I'm outside and it flipped and I had an asterisk mark by that paragraph. So I'm like, oh, that must be the paragraph. I'm
Well,
so sorry.
reading that one was perfect too. Yeah,
Okay, so wait, let me just go back to the real paragraph 4.
yeah, because the real paragraph totally
it's
applies
really
to what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Are you not wary of imprisonment? God did not choose this sorry path for you. What you have chosen still can be undone, for prayer is merciful and God is just. His is a justice he can understand, but you cannot as well. Still will he give the means to you to learn of him and know at last that condemnation is not real and makes illusions in its evil name. And yet it matters not the form that dreams may seem to take. Illusions are untrue. God's will is truth, and you are one with him in will and purpose. Here all dreams are done. So, and then what should I do for him, your holy son? Should be the only thing you ever ask when help is needed and forgiveness sought. This form, the form the seeking takes, you need not judge. So I don't need to judge Luke at all here. I just need to say, what should I do here? And if something comes, follow it. And if it doesn't, I don't need to get sucked into the drama. I don't need to let it ruin my days. I don't need to let it ruin my peace or ruin my sleepful nights. It's okay to still be happy, even though I think he's suffering greatly. And that's where I was having a little trouble this week, because I just feel so good right now and so happy and just so full of joy. then I feel like got this big cold water splashed on me, you know, and it's like, it's okay. I can feel sad and still be at peace, if that makes sense. And I don't need to feel guilty about that. Right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because you are the light bringer. So you being able to hold your peace and your joy is emanating that to your nephew.
I just want him to see how good life can be. He doesn't, you know, and I know when ego has you by the throat and you're in the throes of addiction, you just can't see it.
Yeah,
And
but you know what, Leslie,
I want him to see it so bad.
that's still his path. That's his path that he has chosen. Our only job is not to judge him for that path. We don't know what anything is for, right?
Right.
So that he may have chosen before he came to this earth, that in this lifetime, in this experience, I would like to experience addiction and anything that surrounds addiction. For whatever reason, that is his path. Our job as Course in Miracles students is to not judge him for it and not see it as bad or wrong or sad or any of that. Just to love him exactly as he is and know that the essence, the truth of his being is innocence and pure love.
Amen.
Okay.
Amen. It's that judgment just gets you every time, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And it's so insidious, you know. It's like you think you're not judging, but yeah, if you want things to be different than they are.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Gwen, and then Nancy Gale. Oh, and then Robin.
Well, I missed what Carol said, so I'm going to have to go back and listen to what you shared. So my heart goes out to you, Carol. And I really appreciate it. What you were saying as well, Leslie, you know, about your nephew. You know, I have a nephew. It's not, you know, any kind of addiction, but he's been abused in his past, and he's really lives a very isolated life and very negative. I can only be around him a little while because he's very pessimistic. You know, the world, everybody is messed up. They don't know what life is really about. He's had very profound spiritual experiences in his life. And he just, you know, everybody's lost. They don't get it. They're just like the world is going to hell in a handbasket. And I'm like, wow, to be around. I mean, he doesn't come off when we're, you know, together, you know, for real vocal, but it's just something I can't be around. And I'm like aware so often, wow, he just hasn't had much joy in his life, if any, you know, and that, but again, I've read and been listening to quite a bit recently. I gravitate to it, I guess, where the idea, you know, we've all agreed to a life plan. If that is the case, that's one perspective or possibility, you know, that we've chosen the family, the situations. I'm like, did I really choose this? Or whatever it is that we're dealing with. And I love this saying I have in my house, which is, each moment you are happy is a gift to the world. And I get it, because that's, again, a little thing, a little nugget of the connection that we're all one. We're all part of that. I got triggered just before the session today. And I don't get triggered that often or get angry. I get together with a couple other women once a month to discuss spiritual things, you know, different, you know, perspectives or views and about. Anyways, one of them's having a guest at her home this week that's going to talk about conspiracy theories. And when she brought it up last month, I immediately like, oh God, maybe I'll stay home, you know, and So, but what triggered me was just a little bit ago, there was a text, checking in about the meeting this week. And she said, well, I hope that you would all offer kindness and, I don't know what else it was, to this person coming. And I was so PO'd by that comment because I really guess I felt directed to me. I was the one that made the vocal comment. And so I just, whether it was right or not, I had to write back and say, kindness would always be understood. And I said, perhaps I'm the only one with opinions about conspiracy theories because I was brought up with a lot of indoctrination for over 50 years of indoctrination. And I've, in the last 2 years, made a lot of changes, and I don't want any part of that. But of course, I said, of course, I would keep any thoughts to myself. And I just said, I'm so sorry that you felt a need, that you felt we needed reminded. I just felt like I needed to cry. I felt like, can we not have opinions, but you would not think that I would be kind and respectful? But again, it's like, I got to forgive myself. I got to forgive her, and just forgive everybody that has conspiracy theories as well. And so this just, I've got to go back and read this. I think I need to go back and read the whole thing on forgiveness after today. But thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, thank you, Gwen. You know what popped into my mind, and I'm only saying this because I would also have a challenge with that. I also have a challenge being around negative people sometimes. And what I have learned is the reason why it's so hard is because of my judgments. It's because of my judgments, because their negativity and their believing in conspiracy theories is a cry for love. Those are all fearful things that are happening. It's a cry for love, but that also does not mean that I have to subject myself to them. So
Yeah, exactly. I was feeling like, and I do remind myself from time to time, does this idea come from a place of love or of fear? And for me, conspiracy theory ideology comes from a place of instilling fear or upset. Now, if you choose to align with that, again, no judgment, that is your choice. That doesn't work for me. I'm one of those people that's a testimonial that religion can be dangerous to your health.
yeah,
But again, it's like letting go and allow space for each one to believe as they accept and love them regardless.
exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Gwen. Nancy Gale, and then Robin, and we'll wrap it up.
Thank you, Gwen, for what you just said about the
Religion.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
What you said, Linda, about, you were talking about, I'm really upset because this brain thing, it just won't go away. It's like, anyway, and I find okay. The thing about we choose, and Gwen, I always say, why did I really choose to do this, to have this? I even asked my therapist like several times. I said, what did I do to deserve this life, to be treated as this horror and all this garbage? Anyways, well, maybe it was karma. I said, I still, tell me what karma is. It's like, nobody's ever explained to me the concept of karma. Just use the word, and let's like expect me to know it. And it's like, oh, that's that's the answer, but that's why it's like. Anyways, but the plus in all this, it's helpful. It was helpful for me to say, to hear and sort of understand that we choose I heard Wayne Dyer say this years and years ago. Same thing. When he was talking to his children, one of his daughter was complaining, and he said, "Well, he says, you chose me as your father." Said, like, yeah, right. You know how he was. Well, anyway, but anyways, my thing for this year was to heal my the family relationships, right? And Jesse was here. My grandson, he was here. He's working in Boston this weekend here, anyways. But so he came Friday, and all right, and detail. Well, anyways, but my sister-in-law, they put together he wanted to get together. He doesn't have a family, basically. He didn't have a father. His mom's dead, and we are. So anyways, and one of my desires was to, before I wanted to connect him with my family, so he has some kind of, and that's happening, but it's very slowly, but it's happening. And because the way I was raised, I don't have any relationships, really, friendships or anything with my cousins. And we're the only ones left. Our parents are all dead. So anyways, and then I had I had the chemo, and that's all done. But then the immune system is like, I'm still leery of getting together with, and everything. So, and then it was going to rain. So anyways, Bonnie, my sister-in-law, Jesse, he finally sent his email. He said he wanted to get together, and these were the times it was available, blah, blah. So it turned out to be yesterday for lunch. So Amy went up. It's like 2.5, 3 hours from here up there. She went, the two of them went up. And they left early in the morning, and it's like, so, and I had this, she said, "Mom, do you want to go?" Because I haven't seen him in some time. And I said, and I thought, I hemmed and hawed, and it's like, I said, "I'll let you know before I go to bed." And it's like, I stayed up. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally decided. I said, "As spirit," it's like a spirit. I couldn't quite, yes to no about. I started writing. I said, by the time I was like, I said, no, I said, like, I'm not going. Because then it was raining in the forecast of weather. It's like, they're going to be indoors instead of outside. And I said, no, it's like, I'm guilty. Well, anyways, so then they come back, Amy, and they came back, Jesse, he said they stopped here on the way home. Because he left this morning early to go back to Boston, because he has to be there. So anyways, so they come in there telling us, "Mom, here, this is all the love and the welcome, and we missed you." So I said, "Received." Just like from my cousins. And then she said, it was like the best part was like, oh, and then my cousin, the one that was always the one that the two of us were the ones who would talk after, a sort of separate from the rest. That's what she wanted, and it's like that was how I was happy with that. She was the one that was like pointing out, "You're just like your mother," and she's like right in my face. The last time I saw her, and I said, "No, I'm not," and it's like that was the last thing, and it was like so freaking. She was just learning history about her dad that she never knew. Like she said, "My dad was a racist." I said, "I didn't say anything," and then all of a sudden she's attacking me, and I'm thinking, what did I say? And that was the last thing. And it's like all this time, it's like, it's like, anyways, so so Amy says, she said, your cousin said, keeps saying, "I should call your mom." And Amy she's never, and Amy says, "Well, my mom keeps saying she should call you." And it's like, there it was. And it was like, oh my God. And everybody's got new emails and everything they're all doing. And I just said, oh, thank you, God. Because the last thing I did was pray. I just turned it over. I said, and what this says was, it's like the forgiveness, the form of forgiveness is not up to you to determine. It's like, this is how I want it to happen. And I said, I gave that all up. There it was. I said, and I read that last time. I said, yes. when I get myself out of the freaking way and say, and stop trying to do it and fix it because I'm too impatient to wait for God to work. And it's like, then I step in again and then I go longer and longer and longer and longer. And I just, thank you. Thank you all
you.
for listening to me. And
Yeah.
wait a minute, one more thing is, Jesse and I had this long conversation because he's no, and said, like, should I contact my father? I don't, back and forth and back and forth. And, and all this stuff. What did you, it's all these things. And it turns out, you know how I talk and talk and talk. And it's like, I equate my mind, how it works is with a radio that has all the stations, different story, part of the story, but only one. Then all the, you can remember, I'll put it together, right? And it turns out he's had ADHD since he was a kid. They gave him Ritalin, and when he was young, and he's got all the, he knows all this. And he's like very highly intelligent and creative, right? But what the Ritalin does is it screws it all. It's like it screwed it all up. Now he knows all this, and then we're talking. He says that's. I said, great. He said, Grandma, that's what I'm talking. He says that's all ADHD.
Absolutely.
I said, yes, and I'm 80 years old. I'll be 81 next month, right? And I said, even I told my doctor, we had this discussion a while back, and I told her that, and she perked up, but she never said anything, followed through, right? And then like he said his impulse control thing, it's causing him trouble at work. It's making it difficult for him to do his work.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about going back on it and blah, blah. And then he was in the service and all that crap. But anyways, and it's like, I said, Jesse, I'm 80. And that's like, we're the same thing. That's why we click.
Yes.
He understands, and he's teaching me about me and at the end of my life. And that's, all right, you can see how animated and everything else like that.
Yeah, I know so many people and so many creative and spiritual people that have neurodivergent brains. It's very
Say what? Say
it's
what?
called
Neuro what?
neurodivergent.
What's that mean?
It just
I
means,
love it.
yeah, look it up. We're just not typical. You know, can
Anything
be
but
distracted. Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
I'm gonna
And
give
wait,
Robin
one
a
more
little
thing. I
bit
go
of-
back to when my mom would
Well, honey, we're
when-
already like 3 minutes after
oh,
time,
okay.
and I would like to give Robin a chance to speak before we close out.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Go ahead, Robin, please. Oh, you're muted, sweetie.
Just quickly, of course, I think we all think it's wonderful that Carol could come and share with us so deeply, because you don't get to do that. And so I felt being in this community, in this group, and allowing something that dear to another heart is just so precious. And then of course, everyone that speaks, I feel my heart open. And I actually was just going to tag on to Leslie and her share about all of us, how we are concerned about family and friends when trouble is usually hanging around. And there was a question that brought this thought up. The way I help myself is knowing that there is a concern, there is a situation, and I can either choose love or fear. It's like we know. This is the part that's really what I want. It's coming to me, is that when we have a concern, when I have a concern, and I must include you, I don't want to be bossy, but take it or leave it, is that when we have these places where we are in sorrow or angry or whatever negative thought or feeling, that we can choose that and we can live in that for as long as we want. But what we all have is we know that we can come back to center in any moment and take that breath and come up from air, from air. We've got that with us, and we can take a moment or a year to go over something, but we've all gotten this now, and it just seems like another piece of simplicity. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. So beautifully put.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not going to read the insights, but I am going to read, since our lesson today is a review anyways. I'll just read that because it's short. Oh, and next week we are on to chapter 3, healing. Yay. So we'll do the introduction and the first section, the cause of sickness. It's only a page and a half long. So today's lesson is lesson 220. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And it's a review of lesson 200. There is no peace except the peace of God. Let me not wander from the way of peace, for I am lost on other roads than this. But let me follow him who leads me home, and peace is certain as the love of God. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And isn't Charles demonstrating that so beautifully? Thank you, everybody. I love you so much. Have a wonderful week. See you soon.
See you.
Bye.